The container shipping industry's biggest enemy wasn't pirates, it wasn't war. It was a 40-mile-per-hour tailwind, two pilots arguing in Arabic, and a captain who was told to keep going. His name is Krishnan Kanthaval, master of the Ever Given. 400 meters of steel, the length of the Empire State Building, tipped on its side. On the morning of March 23, 2021, he steered that ship into a 193-meter-wide pinch point. Visibility was less than a mile. The two SCA pilots on his bridge were already shouting at each other. What happens in the next 6 days will halt $57 billion in global trade, pile up 422 ships at both ends of the canal, push container shipping rates from $1,500 to over $20,000, and quietly bury the era of cheap global shipping forever. A single ship, a single decision, a single sandstorm. We'll get to all of it. Flash forward. 2020 Houthi missiles are striking commercial ships in the Red Sea. Half the world's container traffic has rerouted around the Cape of Good Hope. The Suez Canal is functionally dead for Western shipping. Egyptian transit revenue collapses by 2/3 in a single year. And in Tokyo, the same Japanese company that owned the Ever Given quietly orders a new generation of vessels even larger than the one that broke the canal. But to understand how a single ship ended an entire era, we have to rewind to a 2015 OECD report no one in the shipping industry wanted to read. The headline finding is brutal. Container ship sizes have completely disconnected from the actual economy. The infrastructure, the canals, the ports, the dredging budgets cannot keep up. The report names the choke points. Suez sits at the top of the list. 6 years later, every prediction will come true in a single morning, on a single ship. March 23, 2021, 7:42 a.m. Cairo time. The Ever Given is the 13th vessel in a northbound convoy of 20. She's loaded with 20,000 containers, weighs 220,000 tons, and was built only a few years earlier. The two ships ahead of her have tugboat escorts. She does not. Egyptian regulations don't require one for vessels her size, even though she's the largest ship in the queue. A sandstorm rolls in from the Sinai. Visibility drops to about a mile. A 40-mile-per-hour crosswind hits the side of the hull like a giant sail. 4 nearby ports have already shut down. The captain of a Qatari gas tanker has just refused to enter the canal in these conditions. Inside the Ever Given's bridge, 2 SCA pilots are arguing in Arabic. According to documents later filed in Egyptian court, the lead pilot orders hard a starboard, full ahead. The second pilot objects. The argument escalates. When Captain Kanthaval tries to intervene, the lead pilot threatens to walk off the ship entirely. Veteran captains have a phrase for the pressure in moments like this. The shipping company tells you, "Do it, or we'll find someone who will." The Ever Given is moving at 13.5 knots. The canal speed limit is 7.5. She begins to drift. At 7:40 a.m., she hits the eastern bank. The bow lodges into the sand. The stern slams across the entire canal. 400 meters of ship, wedged perfectly across a 193-meter waterway. The voyage data recorder catches the captain's reaction. One word: unprintable. 12% of global trade just stopped moving. Within 6 hours, every shipping company on Earth realizes what's happened. By the end of day 1, 50 ships are stuck behind her. By day 3, 200. By day 6, 422. Furniture, semiconductors, oil, grain, automotive parts, pharmaceuticals, $400 million an hour in cargo, frozen in place. A Dutch salvage CEO named Peter Berdowski flies in. He stares at the ship and tells reporters it could take weeks. It depends on the tides. The same tides that nobody had calculated when the shipyard built a ship 400 meters long. 11 harbor tugs strain against the hull. 2 seagoing tugs join them. Dredgers begin clawing 30,000 cubic meters of sand from around the bow. A small yellow excavator on the canal bank, A single machine next to a ship larger than every cathedral in Europe becomes the meme of the year. The world is laughing while the global economy quietly hemorrhages. Container rates were $1,500 per 40-foot box in early 2020. By the week of the blockage, they had hit 7,000 on Asia to Mediterranean lanes. By late 2021, they would explode past 20,000. The cheapest era of global shipping in human history, over. On March 29th, after 6 days, the Ever Given finally floats free. Egypt impounds the ship and demands $900 million in compensation. The owner's insurers, $3 billion in liability coverage, start running the math. Maersk alone reports an $89 million loss from rerouted vessels. Volkswagen halts production lines. Audi follows. Ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach run at 300% congestion for the next 90 days. But here's the part nobody in the industry wants to admit. They knew. The OECD knew. The Suez Canal Authority knew. The shipbuilders knew. They had been warned for a decade that vessels were being built bigger than the system could safely handle. They built them anyway because every additional container saved a few cents per kilometer. The race to the bottom of the cost curve required the race to the top of the size curve. The Ever Given didn't expose a freak accident. It exposed a business model. After 2021, the entire industry quietly reorganizes. Just-in-time inventory dies. Companies start paying for redundancy. Second sources, second routes, second warehouses. Mexico starts absorbing supply lines that used to belong to Shenzhen. Vietnam absorbs the rest. Container freight rates eventually settle, but they never return to pre-Suez levels. The new floor is roughly double the old ceiling. In 2024, Houthi attacks 4 ships back around the Cape of Good Hope, the same workaround the Ever Given created in 2021. Egyptian transit revenues collapse from over $5 billion to under $2 billion. The Suez is functionally a museum for Western trade. And the ships? They keep getting bigger. The current largest container vessel carries 24,000 boxes. Designs for 30,000 are already on the table. The Suez cannot handle them. The Panama cannot handle them. The world's major ports can barely handle the ones already at sea. The shipping industry has a saying about all of it. They say a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. The truth is sharper than that. A global system is only as strong as its narrowest point. And the men running it will never stop building ships too big to fit through the gap. Next case file drops Friday. Subscribe so you don't miss it.